What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. We're going to get ready to get started in just a moment. And we're going to have a pretty good time because this miserable season that we have all went through as Titan fans is almost over, y'all. It is almost over. And we got one more game to go. And we are going to talk about it. And so we're going to get ready to get into that. We're going to talk Titans Jags, but also some choppy news has come out in regards to Mike Vrabel, and it is dicey and it is interesting to say the least. And so we're about to get into all of that. We're going to definitely talk about that and much, much more. So buckle up, everybody. It is a last dance and tribute show to the king. And we're going to get ready to get that show started in less than 60 seconds.
You can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. Better see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody? What's going on, everybody? Football fans, Titan Nation alike. Welcome in to TNT tonight, the final game preview edition of TNT tonight for the 2023 season. Again, happy new year to all of you out there in the first 2024 edition of TNT tonight. I'm your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we're going to have an extremely fun and celebratory episode for you this evening. Before we do get rocking and rolling, definitely go ahead and do me a favor and make sure you share the show out to everybody, whether it be on YouTube. Hit that share button and go ahead and share it out to everybody. If you can share it to your Facebook page. You can share it to Instagram. You can also share it to Twitter X as well. And definitely do that. And make sure you join the pages below as well. TNT Enforcers on Facebook. At TNT Blue Enforcer on X, and then at Titans_in_truth on Instagram. So definitely make sure y'all go ahead and do that as well. I definitely do appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm actually in the midst doing that myself. Of course, my music was playing in the background, but we're going to go ahead and get the show on. Okay. So, yeah, as I was saying, go ahead and hit that smash button, that like button, smash it. Go ahead and give me a like on the show. And then also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit all on your notifications on the bell. Go ahead and ring that bell. Help me get to 1,500 subscribers to open up the new year. I would definitely appreciate that so very much. And we're going to get rocking and rolling right about now. So, again, this is more of a celebratory show because, we're celebrating. We're going to give a tribute, to Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill as their time as Titans are pretty much about to come to an end. And they're going to be, possibly heading off into the sunset after this season. Now, again, it's not guaranteed. Derrick Henry may be back, but Ryan Tannehill surely will not be. And we're going to definitely get into all of that in just a moment. So, Landon says, one last ride. One last ride. And I'm actually sharing stuff out to Instagram as we speak. So that's why I'm looking down. Yeah, Landon said, one last ride. Ms. Bim said, I want Tannehill, Vrabel, and Tim Kelly gone. I got Collective Soul in here. How you doing? Hope your Saints are doing good. Got DO9. Titan South says farewell to Tanny and likely farewell to the King. And Amar says one last ride. Really happy this horrible season is ending. Dion9 says Penix looks real good. Michael Penix did look really good Monday night. Also, so did Bo Nix in the Fiesta Bowl. He looked really good as well. So I definitely do agree. What's up, AZ Mick? And then, of course, Kent, our resident Titan hater, is like, Henry could get away from here and everything. But we're going to definitely understand we know Kent hates the Titans, like with a passion. So we know that that's the case. But quick update on the draft order. And number one is that the Titans right now are slated to pick 7th in the draft. And pretty much no matter what, they could go no worse than 8th. They could go no worse than 8th. They could get as high as 4. I thought maybe they could have a chance of getting up to 3 with a miracle, but I think the highest that they're going to be able to get is 4 on the list. So, there's some things that's going to have to happen to kind of help with that. Of course, teams like the Chargers, the Giants, and the Cardinals all have to win in order for that to happen. And so, right now in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes will not play the final game for the Cardinals. Blaine Gabbert will be starting for the Chiefs. So if the Chargers win that game, we move up a spot to 6. Looks like there's rumors of a lot of Philly players that may be sitting as well. And a lot of players at Philly are going to be sitting as well. So, I mean, I could definitely see that. And that gives a chance for the Giants to maybe pick up a win, even though they should have won last week. And we could have been in the 6th spot, maybe even the 4th spot right now. And so, right now, there is definitely some movement that can happen if the Titans do fall to the Jags and some other teams do some winning and everything. So it is kind of setting up to where we have a legitimate chance to really move up in the draft. There's definitely a difference between, I think there's definitely a difference between 7 and 4 or 7 and 5, because then you have a chance at one of those, either the premier tackle. You may have a slight shot at Marvin Harrison Jr. And I would say this: if Harrison Jr., Joe or Olu Fashanu is on the board, and the Titans don't pick one of those 3, whoever the GM is, whether it's Rand or somebody else, or if Vrabel's in full control, needs to be fired immediately. And in speaking of Mike Vrabel and Rand Carthon, of course, Mike Vrabel did have his press conference today. Did have a press conference today. He had one yesterday. Um, the fact of the matter is, Vrabel basically, was coming out and he said Will Levis was not going to practice, and he did not practice today, which I think is a very strong indication that Will Levis is not going to play Sunday. Now, it could change, but I still think that he's going to lean toward Ryan Tannehill, give him one last hurrah, one last ride off into the sunset, and, see if he can end his time as a Titan on a high note. Tannehill knows he's done after this year, and he's like, I want to, finish this with a win and everything. So, I mean, if the Titans win, it really doesn't hurt us that much because we'll fall to probably 8, and that's where we are. And so, but also, I would rather see the loss and try to see how high we move up and, maybe have a little bit of power just in case if one of those top quarterbacks is on the board, then you might be able to move down a little bit, get some draft capital, and still get the guy you want. But Vrabel basically, of course, got up and, was saying, you definitely want to finish strong. You definitely want to try to, give it your best and, go out there and give it all your effort, everything you got. And, of course, somebody asked the question of, do you feel you'll be the head coach next season? And, of course, Mike Vrabel's going to come out and say, of course I want to be here. Of course I want to build a championship with Rand and with Amy, Chad, and the other guys. I want to build a championship here in Nashville. And let's touch on that. Vrabel saying he wants to be here. And the way I see it is this. If you want to be here, prove it. Actions speak louder than words. And I mean, again, words really don't mean much because Mike Vrabel said a couple of years ago, he said, and I quote, as long as I'm the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, A.J. Brown will not be traded. Of course, A.J. got traded during the draft. Probably may have not been no fault of his, but it happened. And same thing with Amy Adams-Strunk. The year that Mike Mularkey took the team to the playoffs, first time getting back in the playoffs in a long time, you win a playoff game. And after that Jacksonville game, the reports started coming out from Adam Schefter saying that Mike Mularkey felt he didn't have no support in the front office. He, felt like he didn't have no support, even though Miss Amy would come out and say, going forward, Mike Mularkey will be our head coach. Of course, right after the New England loss, 2 days later, Mike Mularkey was let go. A parting of ways. And so you really haven't seen Miss Amy just come out and say, Mike Vrabel is our head coach going forward, even though there's been reports, from like Diana Rossini and others that, she loves Vrabel, she believes in him, and believes that, he's the guy moving forward into the future. She wants him and Rand together and things like that. But there's a lot of conflicting reports out there, whether we believe them from the sources or not. Because, I mean, like, for example, Jason La Canfora, comes out with something. And obviously, I take it with a grain of salt because the fact of the matter is he's lied more than he's told the truth. And so, and I'm with you, Landon. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, what else is he going to say? Of course he's going to say, I want to be here. Dion Colin Cowherd don't know nothing out of the back of his ass. He don't know nothing. But again, I mean, quarterback ain't completely out of the cards, depending on who the head coach is. If you get a new head coach, he may want his own guy. And yeah, it's been a long time since a first round pick actually panned out. That is very, very true. I know Ms. Mims is happy Michigan won. And yes, congratulations to the Wolverines of Michigan and the Huskies of Washington. They'll be playing this coming Monday night in the national championship. I will be watching with that. But again, words really don't mean jack. And I'm with Amar. Yeah, better coaches have been fired for less. Like I gave y'all the example, Brandon Staley went 24-24 for 2.5 years as the head coach of the LA Chargers, even though he made some dumb decisions, and he still got fired after they got humiliated. And so I honestly think what's going to happen is they're going to try to find a trade partner. They're going to try to see if they can trade Mike Vrabel. And then if they can't, I think they let him go. But, Jason Fitz was just on Stillman and Company. And, like one of the people are a former Titans wide receiver, Chris Sanders, said he thinks Carthon's going to stay, Vrabel's going to be gone. Jason Fitz came out with a full-blown blast saying he thinks Vrabel will stay, Rand will go. And so the reports coming out from everybody that there's a conflict between Rand and Vrabel, that Rand wanted to draft Zay Flowers in the first round, Mike Vrabel didn't. I mean, there is some stuff coming out that Mike Vrabel isn't happy with the organizational structure or things like that, and that maybe Vrabel is going to force his way out. What I think is going to end up happening, I think Rand stays, and I think Mike Vrabel and the Titans will mutually part ways. It'll make it seem like Vrabel didn't get fired. It wasn't like Vrabel got fired. It's just that the Titans and Vrabel couldn't come to an agreement. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I believe is going to happen. And, it's going to probably be where it's either Vrabel's just trying to get his way out, or they tried to make him fire certain people on his staff, and he wouldn't do it. I really think this is about to be a Mike Mularkey situation. I think it's going to be exactly like Mike Mularkey. That's exactly what's going to happen. And, I know like Jared and some others think that Rand wasn't a good choice for GM and things like that. And I'm like, Rand's only been here a year. Give the man an opportunity. Now, if Rand goes out, hires his own guy, and then in like 3 years, we stink, then, oh, yeah, that coach and Rand should be fired. Absolutely. But I think that would be weird if that's the case. And I'm going to get to some of y'all comments. Ian, I appreciate you stopping in. We got some Blue fans in here. We seem to get the most out of our talent out of the later rounds, especially skill guys. Left tackle first round, wide receiver second round for Titans South, which I agree, or the other way around. D09 says, better not try to go anywhere they're doing Rand wrong. I don't think Rand's going to get fired at all. I mean, it's either going to be one of them or both of them, I think. I think it's either Vrabel parts ways or gets fired, or they're both gone and you completely clean house and start over. And I'm not necessarily 100% against that. I could see it, but I really don't think. I think if you do that, Rand got the short end of the stick, and it's really not fair, in my honest opinion. I agree, he just got here. But the NFL is not fair. It is a what have you done for me lately league. And Alex basically said, yeah, don't be surprised if Vrabel becomes GM and stays head coach. And if that is the case, I already know how next season is going to go. If that happens, I already know how next season's going to go. We're going to suck, and then Vrabel's going to get fired. Because if Miss Amy is dumb enough to do that, you give Vrabel all of that power, Vrabel is on the ultimate hot seat. Like, there will be no more excuses. There will be no more who to blame for this and that. It's all going to be on him. And I already know how this story is going to go. You basically might as well record this or cut this part and save it. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I can predict this future. The Tennessee Titans will go like 6-11, maybe 7-10. They're going to miss the playoffs again, and they might win 2 division games. They're going to suck next season. Nobody thinks they're going to be a contender next year. And if you give all this power to Vrabel, the Titans will not win. I can tell you that right now. The Titans will stink horribly. Mike Vrabel will officially run this organization into the ground. Mike Vrabel, he is more loyal than Mike Mularkey to his guys. He's way more arrogant than Ken Wisenhunt. And he's probably just as, if not as stubborn as Bill O'Brien. I'm getting the Bill O'Brien vibes. I feel like he is a mix of about 60% Wisenhunt. I'm thinking like 40% Wisenhunt, 40% Bill O'Brien, 20% Mularkey. That's the vibe I'm getting. Because Mike Vrabel seemed like he wants to be in control of everything. And I can see that. Belichick to the Chargers, Patriots get Vrabel. And I honestly don't think the Patriots will be the only team that could be up for trading for Mike Vrabel, which means there's going to be a bidding war. And if that's that only helps the Titans because you can raise the price. And a first-round pick is the very minimum. Yeah. Rand said he was getting players Vrabel wanted. So it's on Vrabel. He like, I got the guys you wanted. I wanted Zay Flowers. You wanted Skoronski. So I went with what you wanted. Mr. Titan, been a minute, man. What's up, my brother? Who knows? One of these days I might be down in Houston. I might be down in your neck of the woods through the airport. So Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, everybody. Rand needs to run this team. They've already punished Harbaugh. They suspended him for 3 games at the end of this past season. So that's pretty much been put to rest. So, I mean, again, I honestly think something's going to happen on Monday. Something's going to happen next week. So all I can tell you is buckle up, everybody, because it's about to get wild around here. That much I assure you. But let's give a tribute, and I'm not going to do any stock up, stock down, star or dunce of the day, star of the week or dunce of the day, because, I mean, the performance against Houston was just so bad that not too many people did well. You know, congrats to DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry getting over 1,000 yards and things like that, but nobody performed well at all. And Landry getting 10.5 sacks. But this is about the King, Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill, because it looks like this could very well be the final game as Titans It's definitely the final game as a Titan for Ryan Tannehill. It's definitely over for him. But this could very well be the final time we see Derrick Henry in a Tennessee Titans uniform. And I know for a lot of you, this is going to be one of the saddest days of your life. But I did tell a lot of you, I said about a year ago, and I've been repeating it all year. Prepare yourselves for life without Derrick Henry because it's coming much sooner rather than later. I tried to tell all of y'all that, but a lot of you would not listen to me. A lot of you would not listen to me. But it looks like this is it. And this is another reason why I think Vrabel's going to be gone. If you get rid of Tannehill and Henry, you really have no reason to keep Vrabel around because he was so loyal to those guys. And it is going to be extremely bittersweet. It's going to hurt. But it's time to move into the future. It's time to move into a different direction. However, it's time to give Ryan Tannehill and the King Derrick Henry their flowers and their just due. Now, Ryan Tannehill this year has not done a lot. He's been thrown for 1,448 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the year. But I want to say in his time as a Titan, I'm trying to see if I can pull this up. You know, he's thrown for 34,000 yards in his career. And and I'm trying to see if I can get the numbers of how many yards he's thrown as a Tennessee Titan. And I'm actually calculating that as we speak. We know his best year was 2020. That was his best year. And then he followed up with 3,800 yards. And then he had a 3,700 yard season as well. So in his career as a Tennessee Titan, he has thrown for 14,279 yards. Let's see. Getting the touchdown numbers. He's thrown for 91 touchdowns with 39 interceptions. So he's thrown for over 14,279 yards, 91 touchdowns, 39 interceptions in his career as a Tennessee Titan. Now, also, you do have to add that Ryan Tannehill has also rushed 11, 18 touchdowns as well. Yeah, I saw that. But, I mean, Ryan Tannehill has had a pretty nice career as a Titan. A pretty nice career. And then, but Ryan Tannehill, Ryan Tannehill, as much as I've gave him grief after the Cincinnati game and blamed him for that, which I did, I have to say thank you to Ryan Tannehill. I have to say thank you to Ryan Tannehill for helping to dig us out of a very hard time. He came in that game against Denver and led us the rest of the way from 2-4 all the way to the AFC Championship. He got us to the playoffs 2 years after that, and then things went downhill with injury. However, I would say Ryan Tannehill did a very, very, very good job as Tennessee Titans quarterback. And for that, Ryan Tannehill, I say, and on behalf of everybody here in Titan Nation on Titans and Truth, thank you to Ryan Tannehill for all that you've done. Even though I gave you grief over that playoff loss, you led us and you did extremely well. So I give you my flowers. Miss Sunshine Lavender. Always glad to hear some Titan news. I appreciate the missus tuning in. And, Ms. Mims said, no way, don't say that. How can you be so sure that will be his last game as a Titan for Derrick Henry? 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to happen, Ms. Mims. I've been trying to warn y'all. I've been trying to tell you to get ready for life without Derrick Henry. Eventually, some of y'all are going to learn to start listening to me. Some of y'all are going to learn to start listening to me. I dare somebody to come in and say that I have not said that on multiple occasions. Somebody tell me I have never said that before. Somebody come tell me that I did not say that. And of course, the missus, the lady of the house, says, I thought I would never hear the day you would say anything positive about Tannehill. Pigs must be flying. Oink, oink. One big thank you to Ryan Tannehill, class act guy. And he was a class act. And there she is, oink, oink. Rob says, thank you, Tannehill. I also gave him crap after the 2021. I think we all did. I am a fan of 22 Derrick Henry. This is going to hurt. I know this is going to hurt a lot of you. But as Pinballer said, all good things must come to an end. Lou Man says, Tanner Wills and El Tractorito will return. Not as Titans. Now, yes, there is a chance he could be back. Again, I said possibly for Derrick Henry. We know this is the last year for Ryan Tannehill. We know that. But for Derrick Henry, might not be. And let's talk about the King, our celebrated, number one treasure. I kind of had to do that in tribute to the King. I had to do that. Right now, he sits at 9,349 yards, 89 touchdowns on his career. He is just shy. He is just shy of 650 yards away from 10,000 yards. So I would definitely want to see. I mean, I would not be against Derrick Henry coming back for one more year. I really wouldn't. It would not surprise me if he's gone, if they decide not to bring him back. But I think this organization, no matter who the head coach is, owes it to Derrick Henry to let him break that record. And that doesn't mean that if a new coach comes in, Derrick Henry cannot be a valuable piece. And yes, tomorrow is his 30th birthday. So I know a lot of people want one more year. And I don't think it's likely he'll be back, but it's possible. it is very possible he could be back for one more shot. And Derrick Henry does deserve to get a ring. He deserves a reason to go after a ring. If Mike Vrabel is in control, yeah, he might try to run it back one more time like an idiot. And Alex said, the way that Derrick Henry's been talking, he may be bouncing. I mean, yeah. Derrick Henry is basically, he's been talking like this could be the end. Like he's even thought that maybe this could be it for him. In a lot of ways, I hope it's not, but I would understand if it is. So, to the king, to Derrick Henry, all I got to say is, and it's just my collector's deal, hail to the king. Long live the king. Long live the king. Long live the king. Derrick, you will always be the king of this organization, the king of Nashville, and for that, I salute you. Long live the king. So I need everybody to put a comment on there, a long live the king for Derrick Henry. If this is his last game, let it go out with a bang. Let him go out on top. One more touchdown. One more 100-yard game. Give him the love and the flowers he most certainly deserves. Because he is our one true king. And absolutely, he'll definitely be back in Nashville. We shall never forget the king. Long live King Henry. So, Derrick, you are the man, the Beast King. We love you, and we thank you for everything you've done. If this is your last time, 22 will live forever. 22 will be in the Ring of Honor, and so probably will 17 be in the Ring of Honor in sometime in the distant future, as will 31. AZ Biggs thinks that Henry is gone after this year. Dion said they might bring Henry back, and they might. We don't know. I am not saying Derrick Henry is totally gone. I'm just saying it's a very good possibility. Tannehill is done. That much is a fact. But going into this game Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we don't yet know the status of a lot of the Jaguar players. We know that Trevor Lawrence was limited. And Trevor Lawrence was limited in practice for the Jags. So there is a chance that he may play. And I mean, here's the thing. There's a whole lot on the line for the Jags. There's a whole lot on the line for all these teams. Every last team is 9-7. All these teams in the AFC South are all 9-7. They are all battling for one division title and maybe one playoff spot. Could be two. Could very well be three. Because we know Saturday night, in a couple of nights, the Indianapolis Colts and the Colts and the Texans play. The winner is in. The winner is guaranteed a playoff spot and maybe the division crown. The loser has to hope that the Titans win. So, for example, the Jacksonville Jaguars are in front. If they win, they're division champs. If the Jags win, they're division champs, no questions asked. And then the winner of the Colts Texans again. Colts Texans winner is in the playoffs regardless, whether they're division champ or not. If Jacksonville wins, Jacksonville is the division champ, and the winner of the Colts Texans is in, and that other team might be out or will need a lot of help to get in. If the Jags lose to the Titans, I think the winner of the Colts Texans will be division champ. And then it'll be another cluster to decide if that other team gets in or the Jags get in. And as of right now, if you look at the standings, Jacksonville is in, Indy is in. So basically, if Indianapolis wins, they have pretty much a chance at the division title if Jacksonville loses. So if Indy beats Houston and Jacksonville loses to the Titans, I think Indy wins the division, Jacksonville is in, Houston might be out. Because pretty much if Indy wins, Houston is out. Houston has to win to stay alive. But if Indianapolis wins no matter what, they're in, and then Jacksonville will pretty much be in. So Jacksonville, by the end, before they even take the field, will know what they're playing for. They'll know if they're either playing for a division title or just a playoff spot altogether. So that's going to be interesting. And for the Tennessee Titans, they got a chance to move up in the draft if they lose. So it's going to be definitely very interesting. Levis Spears era. I'm going to miss Henry, man. I agree. Will there be any shows this offseason or dry period? Parker D, yes, there will be some shows. Probably after next week, because next week I'll be doing my season end awards. I'll be doing my season end awards. And then after that, I probably will take a break until maybe the Super Bowl, unless big news do come out in regards to the Titans. I will probably do a show previewing the Super Bowl. I will also definitely be doing some stuff about the Senior Bowl. Definitely going to be doing some stuff about the Combine, free agency. I will have a live draft show. So believe me, all of that is going to be coming up. There may be, time. There may be, a couple of weeks here and there, but there's still going to be plenty of stuff going on. Big Dog said, at least we still have D-Hop. Regardless, got to celebrate these two players, win or lose. Better pick or not, got to celebrate them. I agree. I don't know about Higgins. He's got injury issues. He may not play for the Bengals this Sunday. Dion says, this is Henry's last game. One of the best running backs to do it, especially two-tone blue. I agree. Henry could retire as a Titan. I will hope he is. We're going to become division champs next year again. If Vrabel is head coach, I don't see it. So, I mean, either or. I don't really care because, I mean, we're only going to be as low as 8 in the draft. We're already guaranteed a top 10 pick. So it really doesn't matter. And we know a lot of y'all don't like Houston. A lot of y'all don't like Pittsburgh. A lot of y'all don't like the Ravens. And I'm starting to get that. Big Dog said, will you go live during the draft? Absolutely. Titans coming to LA next season, and I might try to go to that game. Either LA or I might get with one of my best friends and go to the game against the Commanders in Washington because I know that's her favorite team. So, but yeah, we're definitely going to see what is going to transpire after all of this. But what I want to see in this game, my Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory to close out this year. Number one, just go out and have fun. And I say that to the fans as well as the players. I will be live at the House of Samurai this Sunday with the Titan Faith. I'm going to be wearing my white. And we're going to party and go out with a bang one more time. We are going to have some fun and we're going to have a good time. So y'all come on and make sure y'all check out the live stream at the House of Samurai this Sunday as the Titans take on the Jags. Number two, fight until the final whistle. Give it everything you got. You got nothing to lose. You got everything. You got nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Just go out there and just go play this game. Number three, we should all come together as fans. Whether you support, whether you like what I say, disagree with what I say, if you like Vrabel, don't like Vrabel, can't stand Amy, love Amy, whether, you want a draft pick or you want to play spoiler, let's all come together as fans at least one time for this game. And let's just enjoy it. No matter if we blow out the Jags, win a close game, or they win a close game, or they blow us out. It doesn't matter. Let's just enjoy the day and the moment. And last, we give the King and Tannehill their flowers because there could be a time where they may inactivate Levis, and there may be a time if the game is out of reach or if it's not close, they may take Tannehill and Henry out of the game, give them their curtain call, give them their standing ovation because they deserve it. And at the end, I think the Titans fall one last time, 27-21, and finish the year 4-12, 5-19 in their last 24 games, and 11-12-22 in the last two seasons. I think that's what's going to happen. And I know, again, a lot of y'all are scared of this day. I know a lot of y'all are scared of this day. This year's draft, I believe, is in Detroit. I hope we get Joe Alt if he's available. Alt, Fashanu, or Marvin Harrison Jr. And if it ain't one of those three, Malik Neighbors. So, hope we have an excellent battle. A lot to gain. Still don't like Vrabel. Respect for the future. Yeah. So, I think we're going to be 5-12 at the end of the year. But we're going to definitely see what happens with that. But to wrap up the show tonight, I mean, again, I really don't have a lot to wrap up on, except even though this season has been miserable, it's been very interesting. We're going to see what the future holds. And I agree. It's been a long season. Parker D says, do you see any coaches getting fired on the staff Black Monday? If Vrabel is going to stay, he's going to have to fire somebody. Or quite a few. But again, what I think is going to happen, I think what's going to happen is Rand and Amy are going to come to Vrabel and say, if you want to stay here as Titan head coach, it's either they're going to let him go or basically they're going to do him like a Mike Mularkey. You're going to have to get rid of somebody. You are not coming back next season with this staff. Somebody's got to go. Big part. Whether it's Tim Kelly, Shane Bowen, linebackers coach, secondary coach, some people got to go. And I don't think Vrabel has the balls to do it. I think he's too loyal to his guys. Craig Ackerman was not his guy. So I think he's going to be too loyal, and it's going to get to the point where, again, I think they're going to mutually part ways unless a trade happens. And so I think what happens is once the season ends, the Tennessee Titans could trade. I'm trying to see when that can happen. But I think these can happen in the offseason. Once the season is over, I want to say once the season is over, you can do it. A lot of times that's, players can't be traded until March, but coaches can be traded before then. So we're going to find out. Trade Vrabel, you either could, you could trade him to a team like, let's take a look at some of these teams that, are probably looking for a head coach. You got Carolina. Right now, what are the jobs that are open right now? Carolina's job is open. The Raiders' job is open. The Chargers' job is open. So you got 3 jobs that are already open right now. Washington may come open. Chicago may come open. Atlanta may come open. Might not surprise me if a team like, say, the Vikings or the Saints, some of those jobs might come open. The Jets, no, the Jets are not coming open. They said they're going to bring back Robert Saleh. But there could be some more jobs available. So anything can happen. Yeah, the O-line coach definitely got to go. Parker D says, I'm a Bama fan, but I hope they don't select J.C. Latham. Yeah, he was terrible. He was terrible. JS75, they'll begin construction of the new stadium sometime in the spring. They should be breaking ground. But I am ready for something new. And so I'm trying to see. Yeah. So coaches can be traded once the season is over. Because that's what happened with Sean Payton. Sean Payton got traded to the Broncos in January. Yeah. Sean Payton got traded to the Broncos before the end of January. So once the season ends, you can trade a head coach. Commanders offer a first for Braves. You taking it? Absolutely. I will probably ask for a little bit more, maybe a first next year too, see if I could do that. But if I could get another first and a third this year, I might be all right with that because, I mean, Washington's going to be picking fourth or third, maybe even second. If they offer that, I'll take it. Now, if they offer next year's first, if they're not giving up this year's first, I will probably not be interested, but I will be like, you got to give me your second, your third, your number one next year, and maybe your number two next year. The Bears could be another team. But I think if Vrabel doesn't go to the Patriots, I think the Chargers could be the right spot. Your new stadium is going to be open 2027. Yeah, the Vikings could be another team. The Vikings could be another team. So there could be a bit of a bidding war for Mike Vrabel. So that's that on that. But everybody, I think that's going to just about do it for tonight's show. I thank everybody for tuning in. Again, make sure if you haven't already, go ahead and hit a like on that show on your way out. And if you have been new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm your host, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth. And I thank everybody for tuning into the show. And y'all have a very good rest of your Wednesday. And happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. And we tighten up because that's all we know how to do. Good night.